Hello, hello. Michelle here with My Designs in the Chaos, where it's my goal to develop, encourage, and grow your crafting talent and confidence. And we are live today on episode number 23 of the Daily Dose of Design, where I'm answering your questions all about SVG files and designing SVG files. Now, if you have a question that has not been answered yet in our Daily Dose of Design series, see that email that's floating right across the bottom of your screen? Make sure to send it over to info@mydesignsandthechaos.com, and your question might be featured in one of our Daily Dose episodes. We've got about a week left of these, and they have been so much fun. Now, for today's Daily Dose of Design, the question comes from a reader, and I think that it's a question that probably a lot of us struggle with, and a lot of us have asked at times. And the question is, what do I do when I'm just not feeling creative? I'm feeling burned out, I'm feeling exhausted, I'm feeling tired. What do I do? I need to be able to, I want to design, I want to come up with ideas, but I'm just not feeling it. What do I do at that point? And so today I want to give you 4 different tips of things that you can do when you're just not feeling it. You feel like you've kind of lost your mojo. Maybe you're feeling a little bit burned out and it's not flowing like it normally is. Now, if you would like to get these Daily Dose of Design videos straight to your inbox every single day, make sure to click the link in the description and they will be sent to you every single day. So let's dive into how to get out of my rut. The email said, I'm in a designing rut. What are some things that I can do to get out of my designing rut? If you've ever been in a rut before, maybe not necessarily designing, but also crafting, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced that. I know, just raise your hand, give me a thumbs up, let me know, because I know I've experienced that before. And so I'm going to share 4 things that I do that really help me get out of that rut. So that I can kind of, move forward and tap back into that creative side. So, tip number 1 I have is fresh air. Fresh air, getting outside. Now, this could look like going for a walk. This could be like going for a run. This could be just sitting outside on your front porch and looking at some trees. Maybe you don't have trees around you. This could be walking through the garden department at Home Depot where you're able to kind of enjoy some of nature. There's just something about nature. Now, I will tell you, I am not the biggest nature person because I don't like bugs and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes just being around it and being able to see it can really help clear your mind a little bit. So that is number 1, is that try to get some fresh air. Get out of your workspace, get out of your crafting space, get out of your house, get out of your bedroom, out of your living room, get off of your phone, no electronic devices, and just get outside. And again, this is coming from somebody I'm not a nature person. That's not where I'm going with this. I'm not saying you have to go do some camping trip. I'm just saying get outside and take a deep breath of fresh air. And whether it's walking through the Home Depot garden section or looking at some trees in your yard, and try to observe some of the natural beauty. That when you start to look at some of the really small details, the beauty that is all around us, that can really help change and shift our perspective and help us get out of that rut. Start noticing like the details on the bark of the tree and the blades of grass and the flowers. And sometimes you're going to be doing this and your kids are running around like crazy. That's typically how it's working for me. But still, just getting outside and changing your scenery and getting some fresh air can help you to get out of your crafting rut. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 that I have for you is to limit your social media intake. So sometimes when I am just feeling like, I don't feel like I'm creative, I'm not feeling good about things, I know that's a red flag for me. Michelle, how much time have you been spending on social media? Now, it's kind of tricky, obviously, because my business is on social media, but you've got to have boundaries there. Okay. And yes, this goes for limiting Pinterest. Even if you're just scrolling, being on social media, the overflow and the influx that can come into your brain of all the ideas can be super overwhelming. It doesn't give your brain space to be able to come up with its own creative ideas. And subconsciously, you might be creating something that you saw online and you don't even realize it. So that's number two, how to get out of their rut. Has anybody ever experienced that before? Once they take a little bit of a social media break, and I don't mean you have to go for months without it, I just mean like, limit it. Take off the weekend or take off a day or take off half a day or, be more consciously aware of not just aimlessly scrolling. Cut back on that a little bit, and that will help give your brain some space to be able to come up with its own creative ideas instead of constantly having an influx from other people on what they're posting. Okay. Has anybody, let me know in the comments if you've ever tried this or it sounds like something that you might be trying. Um, so that's number two, limit your social media intake. It can just lead to overwhelm. And when you get overwhelmed, then a natural response is to shut down. So a lot of times when we feel like we're in a rut, we might be overwhelmed and overstimulated mentally with the input that's coming in, and we don't even realize it. It's a different type of overwhelm, right? And so, because of that, we're paralyzed. We're like, I don't know what to do. I have a million design options. I have a million projects I want to make, and we don't know where to begin. And so, therefore, we don't do anything and we just keep scrolling. And so, if we take a break from the scrolling, get outside, give our brain a little bit of space, that can help us get out of the rut. Now, you need to be able to hear your own thoughts, your own brain, your own ideas, your own voice, and that will help you get back in tune with what your style is. So that's tip number two for you. Tip number three that I have for you is get more sleep. Anybody else sleep deprived or ever been sleep deprived? Sometimes your brain cannot function the same way. Not sometimes, all the time. Your brain doesn't function the same way when you don't get enough sleep. And so, in combination with not having fresh air, being on social media a lot, if you're sleep deprived, then it can be really, really hard to come up with new ideas, new things, to be creative because we're just tired. And so, what's cool about getting more sleep, and I don't mean you have to sleep for forever, but I just mean give yourself an extra hour, give yourself an extra hour and a half. Give yourself permission to get a little bit more sleep. Okay, so that's number three. Because what's really cool about getting more sleep is that your brain is actually still working while you're sleeping. So you can go to bed, you've gone outside, you've limited your social media intake, and then you're like, okay, I'm still feeling not really good about this. I want to create some design around animals, and I don't know what I want that to be. I'm going to go get some rest tonight and try to come fresh at it in the morning. What's happening is your brain is subconsciously still thinking and brainstorming about those designs that you want to produce. You ever woken up in the middle of the night with like, oh, that's a genius idea. I got to do this. Maybe not even about crafting or designing, but like in general. Or you wake up with, oh, that's the solution to the problem. It's because your brain is still thinking and processing while you're getting rest. And so give it some time to do that, where you're able to just kind of turn everything off, go to sleep, and let your brain process. Okay. So we're overtired, we're overworked. Just give yourself a break. And a lot of times, getting more sleep will help you get out of that designing rut. You can come back the next day with a fresh, blank slate, and you're good to go. And then the last tip I have for you is how do you get out of your creative rut? Number four is go do something fun. Now, this is going to look a little bit different for everyone, depending on what your definition of fun is. But this is not something for anybody else. This is something for you that you enjoy. Again, if that looks like being able to go on a girls' weekend retreat, do that. If that just means like an hour at Barnes and Noble, being able to read the kind of book that you want to read, do that. If that means, whatever something fun is to you that's realistic in your lifestyle, do that. Okay. And then you can get back at whatever it was that you're doing the day before. But a lot of times when we're feeling that rut, we're feeling a little burned out, we need some fun. And again, it can be something small, it can be something big, but just start to listen to those triggers and start identifying those triggers about yourself. And then you can kind of prevent it before it happens. Schedule in those times so that okay, I haven't done something fun this week, or I haven't enjoyed myself this month, or whatever it is, but try to do something fun. And this again could be going for a run if you think that's fun, going for a swim if you think that's fun. It could be reading a book. It could be, lots of different things. You know what you enjoy, but whatever it is, don't do it with strings attached. Like, oh, I got to get this order done, so I'm going to craft for fun. No, that's when you're doing it crafting for an order, that's not doing it for fun. Yes, on some regard it is, but what I mean is really do it with no pressure, no strings, purely for fun. And so that's tip number 4. So give yourself an opportunity to be able to have some space and take a break, because there is so much input going on our brains. Doing these 4 steps can help you to get past that paralyzing overwhelm and get out of that rut. So a quick review, the 4 tips I have for you, how to get out of that rut so that you can create more unique designs are: number 1, get some fresh air. Number 2, limit your social media intake. Number 3, get some more sleep. And number 4, go do something fun. Now, I would love to hear in the comments which one of those 4 sounds like the best fit for you, that works for you, or you've noticed in the past has worked for you. But also just remember, give yourself grace. A lot of it also depends on the season of life that you're in. And if you have things that are going on, and we all go through different seasons of life. And so give yourself some grace on that side as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. It's always a pleasure. If you want to get these episodes in your inbox every single day, make sure to click the link in the description. And if you have a question about the designing or SVG files, info@mydesigninthechaos.com, and your question might be featured. Otherwise, I will see you guys back tomorrow for episode number 24. Have a great day, guys. Bye.